Hi Taurus. Alright, welcome to this place if you're new here, and welcome back if you're returning. So I like that card. Alright, that one too. This is a 6-month forecast. It's kind of in line, I'm creating it around the time of the eclipse in October, and so 6 months ahead. That's the time frame that most people tropically put around eclipses in ways of how it affects us and how it pans out. Some other folks think it can be up to a year and a half, but this little time frame, 6 months, it's nice to look at. Kind of working through winter for both of us. Okay, for most of us. So I wanted to just begin and recording even though we're shuffling because I felt like we were in the flow and I wanted to jump in while we were there. So that may be a part of the energy over these next 6 months. I didn't feel rushed. I was just aware, I guess, of the creative myself within this space and how that plays out creatively. So we have Libra and Leo energy is what I'm seeing. That's relationships based in love and fun. Speaking of that, while we pick your cards, you begin this eclipse, it hits your 5th house. So creativity, dating, fun, just maybe more exercise. I keep seeing the moon. Not a crescent, like a fat crescent. Maybe you'll see that. But as we move forward, the 6 months ahead will be closing out in your 11th house. So this 5th house, 11th house, which is an access, it's a road, is highlighted. So those of you who are creative, that could be putting that out or having that be more a part of your community. Maybe finding new communities around that. This could also be where you could meet some really rad people. Okay, that's ready. Let me split this in 3, and then I think we're good to go. No, that goes there. Yep. Alright, what's Zumi got to say? Confusion challenge. There's the moon. There's Scorpio energy. Oh, this is your 5th house, 11th house. Is that the way you look at it? This is your 5th, 11th. Okay, just a second. If you're uncertain about who you're dating, then that's needs a conversation. Like a soft conversation. It could also be where someone's so good at so many things that they have a hard time focusing into a new space. So as the 5th house is also the house of gambling, you'd want to, I heard, make sure someone wants to make sure what they're putting on the line is like a good deal or like a good exchange. It's fair, it's not shady. It's not risky to do it. So maybe it's about starting something small or expanding upon what you have. This could also be simultaneously sort of going on. But I think sometimes, maybe for you, Scorpio being your opposite, because we have the bat here, we have a moth, we have a parasitic kind of insect. So I And the moon in Scorpio, Mercury in Scorpio, that's like a brain worm that makes it hard to focus and have clarity. So maybe if you become confused about something, let's see what the next card is. Wisdom. Well, who in your wider circles, your groups that you're a part of, right? The teams that you're a part of. I heard for some of you, you need to know that's beyond family. We're talking about like your soul family, your friend family, but it's not like blood related, ultimately, the majority of it, right? You want to go to them who seek wisdom there, because you give that to others all the time, right? You're exalted. The moon is exalted in your sign. So people come to you because they're comfortable. I heard, are emotionally responsible. But I heard every hairdresser needs a hairdresser, though. You know what I mean? Let's see a little bit. The next 6 months. I mean, it almost seems too simple. Like, okay, if you get confused and about what's happening and how to handle it, it says use your wisdom. Well, what is wisdom? Let's break this down, because that seems, again, like a simple thing, but it's so vast, right? So wisdom is knowledge applied. So if we back up, we boil it down a little further, we're talking about our experience, being aware of our experience. Maybe that puts the ego in check. Or helps you to turn, because I just saw a bull with his horns kind of down. But then it turned into a ram where they go back, right? So, and if horns, to me, horned animals are, this is like an antenna to spirit, right? You're closer. It's like the trees, right? You're really high. It's branching out. It's a reflective space is what I see. So you're shifting this kind of energy. Maybe you want to do this. This is also showing me like someone riding a motorcycle or having like a helmet on, and then they like lift up their face plate. You know what I mean? Because this is the most vulnerable. This is a vulnerable place, and it's like they open it. I heard they're not afraid of anything. And through your previous experiences, you have enough knowledge, like whatever you're handling, I feel like you've already done it before. It's not something ultimately brand new. So maybe you want to ask yourself what you have been or would like to learn about that is something that maybe you don't know anything about, and expand on that. Because it could be, well, I don't, like some of you could be like so creative, but you're probably old school like me, and like maybe you don't know a lot about technology and like how that world works, and taking advantage of that tool. I mean, we don't have to use it, but it's a tool, right? So it may be one of those things where, oh, okay, I need to teach myself how to use this program or something like that. Or you take a class, you know. Actually, both these cards, now that I'm looking at it, both these cards have a moon on them. We have a half moon and a full moon. So those may be times where the half moon or the gibbous is a little bit challenging for you. I see specifically moving through like Aquarius and Scorpio energy. My heart's getting tight. I can like feel it in my body. And then the full moon is where it's more of a confusion, like emotionally, where it's like, wait a second, I don't trust anything. Or everything feels hard but everything's fine. You know, those kinds of times where like nothing bad is going on in life, but sometimes you get wicked down or like tired, you know, then maybe you want to take care of yourself too. Like, you know, we were just even talking so fast. And when I looked at this female image here, it reminded me of like when women would go to the red tent, you know, like once a month and sit for what, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, you know, rest. Okay. Alright, so that was a message in and of itself. Let's look a little further. Just the tarot. Okay. Please. My heart got tight again. What's it about? Some of you naturally, it's like I want to talk to one person right now, you know, like really have that deep kind of one-on-one conversation. But it's like I'm aware that there's all these other bits connected to it, even if they're not physically there. This is supposed to be your next 6 months. Where's she going? Oh, she just keeps on going. Okay, good. Oh, you gotta wear a yellow jacket. Someone in a yellow jacket, someone in a yellow dress. Someone wearing yellow would be good for you, like the sun, maybe, or like an orange mustard color. You have to do something new creatively. Have to? Seems strong. Is that right? Particularly if you're a woman, I really feel like you gotta cry like 3 times a month or something. If you're a person that keeps it in, you need to know that that's helpful for your creativity to express, to let out emotion in a really deep sense that you generally wouldn't do in front of another person. Your private expression of emotion, deep, this stuff that you even hide from your spouse, you know what I'm saying? You really wouldn't tell your psychiatrist like that. It's almost like there aren't words for certain things. And I see that there's a lot of buildup for a lot of you in ways. It's like I heard it's like a 30-year list kind of thing. So now we're here though, right? And actually, this is also okay, that's the past. All right, now we can acknowledge that. The difference. That is the past. Now we're here. And you start a new journey. Maybe crows are around you or the birds. And someone's walking into this next season with confidence also. And as you start out the 6-month period, the eclipse to eclipse, the beginning could be a little bit, well, it depends. We have 10 of Swords and 10 of Wands here, but they're coming out as energies where it says to me, I have experienced this before. This is a part of me. So no matter what, it knows how to deal kind of with anything. But I feel like it also has lost its courage in certain ways in the past that are, I see, lingering. But that doesn't deter a person from moving forward. Someone wants you to lead too, and we've been talking about that, right? You see this bull in the front. So what I'm seeing is, again, as you begin this cycle from October to April, is here's autumn. It's kind of beautiful. It's like here's autumn, and you're like watching the changes, right? And then you observe for a while, and then you realize I can't stay here. This particular place is passing. So I heard I'm going to move with it. Pardon me. And then it starts moving into winter, right? She has a heavier coat on, another layer, and all these things, and has gained a friend and a help, right, is right there. And we're moving into winter. And we'll look in between there in a second, but I like that when we move forward to the other end of this 6 months. No, honey. This is fire energy. So it is emphasizing that then there's light and bright. You're free. You feel good about where you are. You feel full of energy. So actually your reserves of energy are important between now and then. You can build those up if you want to, but it's almost like learning the method of preservation. Ricky, dude. Just a second. Come here. He's a sweet cat, but you still got to work out boundaries. You know what I mean? Let's see what's going on in between here. What do we have for time? 17. Beautiful. That's the star. So maybe you get a wish comes true in between here. I heard you get a chunk. You get a chunk completed in relation to some kind of planning. Some of you change home, or there's like a new, your work has a new address. There we go. Support. Beautiful. Structure, support structure. Wow. Harmony. I'm so thirsty. These two tens to me are showing where a person says to themselves, I can do anything. If no one else was here, I could handle this. They know their strength. Even when I'm saying this, my chest, it's like my posture went in an appropriate place. Right? Shoulders back and down, chest open, head high and level. Because even though it could feel a little challenging, or it could feel, because some of you could have questions about work, about who you are. It's touching, right? Resources are interesting with Uranus going through your sign. You know, it's changing things. And change is good, but not all change is good. That's interesting. I guess we have to distinguish and differentiate certain things, right? But these people don't have their head down. She's got her head high. Head high. I'd like one more on that. I'd like you to practice. I heard expressing yourself in small ways. That had a really sweet energy around it. Those of you where you've been a person here, what I see, has been putting in a lot of work, a lot of mental energy, a lot of planning, a lot of physical energy, spiritual energy is in there. And if I'd assume that someone's been holding themselves, again, emotionally responsible and steady as well. Although it feels like it's sloshing sometimes on the inside, right? But the external world isn't like collapsing. You know, I heard it's another layer of healing. And again, I like that. I really enjoy and am happy that this is showing me in you in a grounded place about it, right? You're barefoot when you need to be. You know when to put on your boots. You know where you're going. Let's see. Rebirth. Yes, indeed. So this could be a really big shift for you. And actually, for some of you, if how do I see this? Yeah, the houses I saw highlighted were 5, 9, and 11. 5 and 11, the road is the strongest, but the 9th is coming at that. So at times, again, there's a dual nature. And I heard something about a person can have that duality in themselves. Just make sure that you're always facing the light. Remember that you are light. And maybe that's it. Some of you have been keeping yourself a little dim or like a little bit shaded. It's like you didn't want the light or you didn't feel like you deserved it. Did we say that? This also shows me I don't like to use popular propaganda language, but okay. It shows me that a person has completed a cycle that they've already been through before, so I guess that shows great maturity. You know, this could be like your second Saturn return, or you're in your second Saturn return, or you are, had like, you know, you're on your third night of this. You've gone through at least 2 dark night of the souls kind of experiences, you know, things that last like a decade. You know, those kind of healing places. And I do see the last 2 years being really big. Then I see 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10, 20. Which is kind of lining up with Saturn, but that's another story. Maybe we said all those numbers. Some of you are like really into numerology. I heard someone say, how can I share what I create? And then I saw a person asking another person once, because that person answered the question, and then another person came up to them and was like, how do I find the things that you create? So someone opens a door for themselves, and that door is really great. Okay. Some of you are going to win a prize. Temperance. that's the sun and the moon too, this eclipse energy. So you have a male spirit guide that helps you, that protects you when you're working through things emotionally. Doing like shadow work in there, maybe. It's also letting God take the wheel with certain things. I heard letting go of control, and then I saw a bird, a big bird, kind of fluff and then expand its wings. It was like as big as this room. Huh. So try something new. A branch off the tree of what you already, because it's a branch off the tree to what you already do. This is beautiful creativity. So right now, depending on where you are on the path, this is also, what do I see? You make it to the place that you want to be. And when you get there, you're like, woo-wee! Like so happy. So happy. And it's like, oh my God, I'm so grateful for this Six of Cups. Yes, I'm so grateful for this. For you. For us. It's and you know, I'm being reminded of your October reading talked a lot about being definitive in what you want. Because that's part of the soul's journey, right? We can unconsciously do it. We can subconsciously do it. We can consciously do it. I mean, do you always get what we want? No. But that doesn't mean that we're not getting what we need. All right. Too easy, right? Wisdom. So it seems so simple, but King of Pentacles, beautiful energy. You have the King and Queen of Pentacles. So some of you could also be oh, what a beautiful connection. I heard you're allowed to be comfortable. Right, I feel like both of these right now are Taurus energy. And one of them, right, is walking out in the cold, no shelter, just what they own on their back, and it's in the elements. And this one is comfy with a little fire, you know, like a wood stove and their doggy and books. And so maybe some of you are trying, it wants you to settle in. Maybe that's about that moving. And again, whatever is moving down the line becomes so comfy. And again, a person gains more of their they recognize more of how their power works. It's enlivening, you know, it causes someone, it puts a person back into like, wow, I can take my energy to be curious instead of stressed or like my heart got tight again, you know. Yeah, High Priestess and the King of Wands. Wow. Old friends, new friends too. Definitely lots of folks to learn from if you want to. I could see spiritual groups or that kind of thing that kind of feed your soul are also really helpful. I mean, it's just, but I also saw someone like taking a business course as well. Like you can go to any group, you know. Yeah, Three of Cups and the Star. And I do feel like if you've been looking for that, like your tribe, some kind of connection and community in that way, that's definitely some. All this purple feels like Spirit's giving you soft nudges towards where you're supposed to be. And if you're already there, then that may be hard, especially if you're in a winter energy working into that. It's like people go within, and then in the spring, right, it comes out. But you can still be building in between. And I think for those of you who are creative, you really want to, I heard, harness in on something. Like a project, or like kind of plan out. I saw someone sort of planning out their creative process over the next 6 months like that. You know, especially through the winter, because it's a wonderful time. It's mellow, you're indoors, you can do that. You know, maybe it's just I'd really love to read that book, you know, or take class on this. Ace of Swords, yeah, maybe that's it. Alright, we got King of Swords, so I'm going to say that is, this is finito. Finito for now. Per adesso. Okay. I love you, Taurus. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for being a part of this place. And, yeah, I wish you the best on this next 6 months and beyond.